Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing so well. If you're wondering why I am surrounded in fabric, it's because we're going fabric shopping this morning, because today I'm going to take you from start to finish through the whole process of how you can make an item of clothing for yourself. It's going to be really easy to make. There's even a no sew option for those of you who are so inclined, and it's going to be affordable as well. So fingers crossed I find the fabric that I'm looking for, but this is going to be a really fun project, and for me, I always love being able to wear something that I've made myself. There's a real sense of accomplishment, and it's so cool to have a unique piece that you've made yourself, you know? So come along with me and let's go and see what we can find. Success! I found exactly what I was looking for, and today they had this particular fabric in so many different colors. I haven't ever seen such a variety of colors before. I was so tempted to go for lots of the brights, and actually when I went I was thinking of the yellow, but I'll show you now why the yellow was not an option. So the fabric I took is called rib trim. I've always known it to be called mutton cloth. So if you know what mutton cloth is, you'll sometimes find it in like normal grocery stores in the section where they sell like the car wash products, because they use it like a cheaper quality version to help polish the cars and not scratch it. But this is called rib trim, and I'll show you what it looks like. Just grab any one of them. Well, let me take all of them so you can see the colors that I took. So I got black, off-white, this nice dark gray, and then like a white one. So I'll show it with the off-white because I think you'll be able to see it a bit clearer. So it has this knit texture to it. It feels a bit like wool, but it's not really. But it looks like that, and it feels a bit like it, and it's really stretchy. See that? Super stretchy. And the great thing about this, and why I said earlier that there is a no sew option, is that this fabric comes already in a tube, so it's connected on all sides. So for the no sew option of this, all you really need to do is cut the fabric to length, and it's already fixed and ready to go. You'll see what I mean. But this is what it is, and super stretchy, very lightweight. Let's go and make something cool. Oh yes, and the reason why I didn't take the yellow one, although the color was absolutely gorgeous, was that that particular one, for some reason, was the only one that was like a flat piece of fabric as opposed to the tube that I showed you. And for me, that's the whole point of buying this particular fabric, is that it's already like fully constructed. So with a little bit of a heavy heart, I left the yellow behind, but that was why. So to give you an idea of what I'm making today, like a lot of people, I love Pinterest, so I save outfits and things that I love and think, oh, maybe I can make it. So this is something that I have in my DIY outfit file. Yeah. So hopefully you can see that I'm going to attempt something like this. It might not be exactly the same, but I think we can get it pretty close. I'm not going to do any of the button detailing. It's just going to be plain. So let's try. Welcome to garment making for beginners. No, but honestly, this is so easy. We're not going to be using any patterns. We won't even necessarily be doing any measuring, but if you prefer to do things that way, by all means, go ahead. I'm going to be showing you the way that I think is the easiest and least time consuming. Okay, so we know that this fabric already comes in a tube, which means we don't really have to do any shaping or things like that. All you need to do is to decide how long you want your skirt to be. So if you prefer mini, go for mini. If you like midi, midi. Maxi, maxi, do your thing. And then all you need is a garment that you already have that is the length that you prefer. So I'm going to be using this skirt. It's kind of the length that I already like. If you're making this because you don't have a skirt, so you don't have anything else to go off of, then just wear a pair of leggings and then you mark off on the leggings where you want your skirt to end. Then you take off your leggings and you use that as your, almost like your stencil, you know, just to determine the length. Because we won't, like I said, we won't need to be shaping anything. It's already in a tube that we can just pull up. Okay, so to do the skirt, I'm just going to lay this down. I'll take you down to the level with me. All right, so we're going to lay the fabric down on the floor. Make sure that you have the edges of the tube to the side and not like squashed open this way. Okay, so you will be able to see the line where the fold has been the whole time. And then you're just going to lay it out. Don't be alarmed by how narrow the fabric looks, because like you saw earlier, it's really stretchy. That being said, it depends how fitted you like your clothing to be. This garment is going to be quite fitted. Okay, so like I said, there is a no-sew version. So if you're just going to cut and put it on, then you don't really need to consider any seam allowances. But I do want to have like a nice finished band at the top and finish the hem off a little bit at the bottom. So I'm going to add, see, we're not measuring today, that's about 2 centimeters extra to the top and like 1 centimeter extra to the bottom. So when I lay my skirt down, I'm going to make sure that there's still that excess above the waistband of my skirt and 1 centimeter excess below the hem of the skirt, and that's what I'm going to cut. Alright, so I've laid the skirt on top of the fabric. You can see I have my 2 centimeters extra above the waistband of the skirt, and then I'm just going to estimate about 1 centimeter below the hemline, and then I'm going to cut it off there. That gives me enough excess to fold it in to make a nice hemline. So all I'm going to do now is cut the bottom because the top is already done. So estimate like about 1 centimeter, and that's where I'm going to just cut it straight across. Right, there you can see it's all done. This is the fabric just cut without any sewing. Sorry about the odd angle, but I don't have a mirror close by. So this is just the tube as it has been cut from top to bottom. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I am now going to do the sewing. So if you prefer to have this be a no-sew project, this is where it ends for you. You've cut it, you've pulled it on, you've got a skirt, you're good to go. You can wear a belt to hide maybe some of the raw edging, but you could even wear it with a t-shirt, tuck it in and have it like just you know, flop over. I am now going to go onto the sewing part. So For this sewing, what I'm going to do is, I'll show you. So I had that 2 centimeter extra at the top of the waistband. So now I'm going to tuck that to the inside and sew this in so that I've got a nice clean folded waistband. Also, because it's a bit loose for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dart it in at the sides just to make it fit a little bit more flush to my waist. Then with the bottom I'm just going to do a little zigzag stitch, and then the skirt is done. That's it. Let's get to sewing. Alright, so for the top I'm just going to start off with a very similar process that I did to the skirt, which is to decide how long I want it to be. So it's obviously going to start off as a strapless, like a blue tube top, okay, because that's what we're working with. So it's going to be something like that, okay? And then you can decide how long you want your top to be. So because I know my skirt is going to be at like a high waist level, I'm going to make it so that my top either meets it or is just a little bit shorter. So I will decide how long I want it to be. Let's say, for instance, I want it to be that long. My finger is. And then I'll do the same as before. I'll cut it with a little bit extra at the top and the bottom for a bit of a seam allowance and a neat finish. Then there's going to be an additional part to the top, because you saw in the picture it was long sleeve. Now I'm not going to do all the fancy cutting out of armhole sections, etc., but I am going to make a bit of a sleeve. So to do that, we're going to have to cut this tube open. So how I think I'm going to go about this is I'm going to take the tube, cut it vertically down the center, and then those 2 vertical pieces I'm then going to sew closed to make 2 individual tubes, and those I'm going to attach to the top of the tube. But I'll show you along the way. So let's cut this and put everything together. Darts, I'm just going to use those original fold marks that were in the fabric, and that's going to be my sides. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create like a triangle from point, 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 and I'm going to sew that in. So to mark off where I want it to be, I'm going to pin it. So basically what's happening is this is where the waist ends at the moment, and that's too far. So I want to bring the waist in tighter. So that is where I want the waist to start. That's where I'm going to pin it diagonally, and then I'm going to sew it down and create a bit of a curve so that it follows the natural shape of my hip. So here where my thumb is kind of where the stitching is going to go. So I'm going to put my pin in there on both sides. Alright, there we go. It's pinned in on the left and on the right, and then I'm just going to sew that whole section closed until I meet the point where the fabric is already connected. Alright, so to make the sleeves, like I was saying earlier, I've cut a piece, it's all still connected, it's all still a tube, and I folded it in halves in a way that I could see where the existing fold line was, and I'm going to cut this down the center so that I've got 2 separate pieces that I can reconnect. Alright, I've now cut that piece of fabric down the center. You can see it is now open, and I'm going to then sew this shut, and and I'm going to sew this shut so we have 2 sleeves. However, at the part where I want it to be the upper arm of the sleeve, I'm going to leave about this much space open so that I can connect that part to the top. Okay, let's do that. Alright, so you'll remember with the sleeves, we kept the top part open. So we sewed along that new line to close it, and then we left a piece open. That open piece is now here. I've stretched that flap open and pulled the pieces onto the top of the bandeau just to see what's comfortable, and this is obviously inside out at the moment. Pinned it kind of where I want it to be, and then we're going to sew the whole thing on right underneath the arm and round the back. So some additional info, that fabric was $87 a meter. I bought 3 meters just because I wanted some extra to play around with and maybe make some different tops or use it for something else later. But for this set, I used probably only a meter of it, which means that that whole outfit cost me $87. That was it, because I already had the thread, I already had all the stuff. And again, if you're not sewing anything, then all you need is that fabric. So I find it really affordable if I compare it to the price of 2-piece sets online or what I see in store. I think it's really affordable, and it's so fun to be able to make it yourself and really tweak it to your own personal style, and you know. And also the fabric is so stretchy that you don't need to cut any slits in the skirt for mobility. I've tried walking in it, and you can walk very comfortably without any slits. However, I do think that with some of the extra fabric that I have, I'm going to make one that does have a slit, just so that you have some variation. And when I get to that point, and maybe with one of the other colors, I will take you along for that as well. So I found it really quick to make. I mean, if I wasn't filming and if I didn't have 4 dogs who decided that today would be the perfect day for all the distractions in the entire world, I think that this whole project, from the time that I laid the skirt on top of the fabric, from the start of that till the very end, it would have taken me about maybe 20 to 30 minutes. That's how quick it is. Really, really quick, because you don't work with any patterns or any sizing and stuff like that. And I actually think that the top that I did was quite complicated if you look at the other options that there are. So it's not a time-consuming project at all. You can whip yourself up an outfit quick sticks in no time at all and have it ready to wear. And there you have it, guys. It's really that simple. Like I said, it can be a completely no-sew outfit. So if you prefer not to sew anything, you can literally just cut 2 pieces of fabric in different lengths. One for the top, one for the bottom, and you have a ready-to-wear 2-piece outfit without having done anything except cutting that fabric. I find that strapless tops, you know, these boob tube, bandeau, whatever you want to call it, is not very flattering on me. That's why I didn't keep it as is. But if you like that style, go for it, wear it, do your thing. Some other styles that you can easily do with that top is just to make 2 strips from the fabric and have, you know, plain straps. You can even take it around the neck and have a halter neck. So there's really a lot of ways to personalize it and make it your own and accessorize it, you know, and you've got a full-on awesome outfit. So if you do decide to make one, post a picture on your Instagram and tag me at What's She Wearing Today. I'll post the handle in the description. I'd love to see you guys in your own homemade 2-piece sets. And if you have any questions about how I did any of the steps that maybe I missed during filming, definitely post it in the comments below. And then go ahead and like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate if you did, and share with your friends. keep your eyes peeled to this page for some more DIY videos and a lot of the other stuff that we all love. And I'll see you next time. Bye.